Welcome to Old Man Sports Talk. I'm your host, Old Man Nate, and it is OU TCU post game. What a win for the Sooners today. They hold on one second. I'm clicking something real quick. As they walk away with a win, 69-45, a 24-point win for the Sooners. Great win for them. So, at halftime, I said that there was really no chance that TCU had to come back to win as they was down um, like 42 to 13 at halftime, something like that. And they made a great effort. I'll give TCU credit, but I mentioned at halftime that there was a lot of receivers wide open in the first half for TCU, but the quarterback was just missing throws. Well, he didn't miss too many starting the second half. He was pretty accurate, and TCU came back. They got within two scores twice, but the Sooners did end up putting it away. The nail in the coffin was the interception by Billy Bowman. His second, the return for a touchdown, his second week in a row that he's made a big play on defense to return a touchdown, an interception for a touchdown to basically kind of seal the deal. So great win for the Sooners. By the way, I know a lot of Sooner fans are wanting an Oklahoma USC matchup. Well, there's actually one going on right now. OU and USC are playing basketball, men's basketball right now. It's in a tournament. I'm not sure exactly what looks like it's Rady Children's Invitational. I think it's in the Bay Area. So Sooners and Trojans are playing basketball right now. For all you Sooner fans who are wanting to see the Sooners play USC. Now, of course, we want to see it in football. We want to see Brent Venables beat Lincoln Riley. But if you want to just watch OU beat USC right now, turn over to the basketball. It's on Fox. Okay. So let's take a look at the stats for the game. Hold on. I clicked on the wrong thing here. There we go. All right. So we'll start with TCU. Josh Hoover finished the game 32 of 58 for 344 yards, only a 5.9 average, 4 touchdowns, and as I mentioned earlier, an interception that sealed the deal for TCU to lose. Amani Bailey had a great game running the ball. He carried the ball 21 times for 150 yards. That's a 7.1 average. A touchdown, his longest was 49 yards. Savion Williams carried 3 times for 18. Cam Cook came in. I kept thinking they were saying Sam Cook. It's Cam Cook. He carried just 1 time, though, for 5 yards. JoJo Earl was the leading receiver for the Horned Frogs. He caught 4 passes for 94 yards, a 23.5 average, and a touchdown. His longest was for 48. Jalen Robinson caught 3 for 50. Savion Williams caught 3 for a 48. And Jared Wiley, their tight end, caught 8 passes for just 39 yards, but he did catch 2 touchdowns. Leading tackler for TCU was Jamal Hodge, 14 tackles, 4 of them solo, 1.5 for loss. And Shad Banks Jr., 11 tackles, 6 of them solo, and 1 for loss. The team had 2 sacks, but they don't have them I don't know who actually got them. All right, so let's take a look at Dylan Gabriel was 24 of 37 for 400 yards, a 10.8 average, 3 touchdowns, and he did throw that 1 interception. Gavin Sawchuk, 22 carries, 130 yards, 5.9 average, 3 touchdowns, 41 was his longest. And by the way, this is the 4th game in a row that Sawchuk has ran for over 100 yards. The Sooners' rushing game early on in the season was non-existent, But once Sawchuk got going in the last 4 games, he has ran for 100 yards 4 games in a row. Dylan Gabriel also carried the ball 7 times for 36 yards. Remember, sacks counting your rushing yards. And he had 5.1 average, 1 touchdown, and 40. He got that 40-yard run on the 4th and inches play. Tyree Walker carried it 5 times for 29, and he had a touchdown. And Javante Barnes came in a game late and carried it 3 times for 10 yards. Leading receiver was Drake Stoops again for 12. He had 12 receptions for 125 yards, 10.4 average, and 1 touchdown. Nick Anderson, I don't think he caught a pass in the second half. He caught 4 passes for 97 yards. Jaden Gibson, 2 for 76. Austin Stogner, 2 for 26. Gavin Sawchuk, 2 for 16. And Jalil Farouk caught 1 for 7 yards. Leading tackler, Billy Bowman, 9 tackles, 4 of them solo. And like we mentioned, he had a interception for a touchdown. Danny Stutzman had 8 tackles, 5 of them were solo. And Kendall Dolby had 8, also 5 solo. Gentry Williams, 7, 5 solo. And Kip Lewis, 7 and 3 solo. We had 1 team sack, but they don't have it listed. I don't know who got the actual credit for the sack. All right. So those are the stats today. Great job by the Sooners. Pulled away late. Matter of fact, I want to go back real quick. Just real quick, I want to go back to that game real quick. Let's see if this. No. Let's go back. There we go. All right. Oh, that's not it either. Okay. I don't know what that's about. There we go. Okay, so Sooners led 14-13 after 1, was up 42-16. I said 13, 42-16 at halftime. TCU outscored the Sooners 22-10 in the third to cut the lead to 52-38. So it was a 14-point game after 3. But the Sooners, kind of took back over control of the game in the fourth quarter, outscoring TCU 17-7 to go ahead and win it 69-45. So great job there by the Sooners in the fourth quarter. So let's take a look at final scores on the day so far. As we mentioned already, Sooners won 69-45. Iowa beats Nebraska 13-10 as they kick a field goal as time expires to win the ball game. Miami beat Boston College 45-20. Memphis beat Temple 45-21. Toledo beat Central Michigan 32-17. And Ohio beat Akron 25-14. Scores currently going on right now. UTSA and Tulane are tied at 7 in the first, about halfway through the first. Utah State's beating New Mexico 14-7 halfway through the first. That's all that's going on right now. Remember, well, here any minute now, Missouri and Arkansas will be kicking off. Air Force and Boise State will be kicking off. And then this evening, you got Texas Tech at Texas, Penn State at Michigan State, Oregon State at Oregon. Okay, big games for the Sooners now. You don't necessarily have to have Texas lose, but of course, with Sooner fans, we like to have Texas losing. The big game, really, one big game the Sooners have to focus in on is tomorrow. I believe. Let's look at the time. I believe it's at 2:30. Let's see here. Yeah, it's at 2:30. It's BYU and Oklahoma State. Okay, if BYU beats Oklahoma State, then OU is heading to Arlington next week to play Texas. But if Oklahoma State wins, then they're heading down there, right? If Texas loses and BYU, OSU, and Kansas State all win, then it it would still be um, Texas and OSU. So the Sooners' only chance of getting down there is if OSU loses. So Sooners got to be pulling for the Cougars. Got to be pulling for the Cougars. Now here's the thing. Um, regardless of what the Sooners or what happens tomorrow in Oklahoma State, we want to play in the best bowl possible. You always want to play in the best bowl possible, and the Sooners still have a really good chance of making a New Year's Six bowl. I would say right now their percentage is probably around 50%. If if OSU wins tomorrow, I actually think, and of course it's going to have some help from other teams, but I actually think that if if OSU wins, it will increase OU's chances of making a New Year's Six bowl. Okay, um, and so let me explain that. So if Texas, let's say Texas loses tomorrow and plays in the Big 12 championship and wins the Big 12 championship, well, they'll be the only team from the Big 12 make the New Year's Six Bowl. I don't think OU will have a chance at that. They could qualify for an at large, but I think too many teams would have to lose in order for them to get in there. So for OU to make it, they they need two things: either OSU lose tomorrow and OU go beat Texas in the Big 12 championship, because then they're automatically in a New Year's Six Bowl as a Big 12 champion. Or the other option is to backdoor your way in by Texas winning the Big 12 championship or winning tomorrow, winning the Big 12 championship, and making the college football playoff. Then there's still got to be a team from the Big 12 represent in the Big 12 in the New Year's Six Bowl represents the Big 12 champion. And here's the thing: with them beating OSU, I know OSU would be technically considered the runner-up, but they would have tied for second with at least one other team. OU is locked in for at least no worse than a tie for second, and possibly Kansas State. And with OSU having that would be their losing the Big 12 championship. That would be their fourth loss on the season. I don't think the Big 12 wants to send a representative with four losses to a New Year's Six Bowl. So who's the next team? Well, technically, by way of order, it's OU. And then also, who brings more money to the table? It's OU. So I think that if Texas makes the playoff, then OU will represent the Big 12 in a New Year's Six Bowl, right? So that's their two ways: win the Big 12 championship, you're automatically in there, or have Texas go to the playoff, and then I think OU backdoors its way in. And which bowl would they go to? Most likely the Fiesta Bowl. Now, if they get an at-large bid, I think they'll go to the Cotton Bowl, which it's closer for a Sooner fan, so they probably rather go to Dallas and Jerry's World. But anyways, we'll have more. We're gonna have more shows this week. We're gonna have a couple more shows than normal this week because we're gonna talk about all of this stuff. We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about where OU could end up bowl wise. And we're gonna talk about Big 12 championship, and also after. So not this coming up week, but the week after, we are gonna have shows going over my preseason videos, seeing how good I did, how bad I did, that sort of thing, and how many conference champions I got right. I will tell you, there are some that I'm still in running for, and there are some that I lost. I missed out on. So we'll see. We'll see how well I did. But anyway, great win for the Sooners today. If you didn't watch the game, you missed out. Again, if you're a Sooner fan, you're pulling for the Cougars tomorrow. So that way you get a trip on down to Arlington. All right. Well, uh, we'll have more shows later on this week. I appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't already, go get you some turkey sandwiches. That's what I'm about to do. Is drink some beer and eat some turkey. So we got plenty of leftovers over here. All right, I appreciate everybody for watching today and subscribing. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like the videos. That way you get notified every time Old Man Nate goes live and drops videos. And again, we'll see you right here later on this week on